Ah, okay. We. Oh, let's see. Let's see. Let's see. Let's see.
From here. It's going to be take place on Saturday, May 6th in Hialeah, Miami,
Okay.
and it's going to be hosted by Dance Awakening. Dance Awakening has
Whoa, whoa,
uh, one of the dance schools
whoa. Wait a second.
that I've attended when I lived in Miami, and they kind of like helped me, get back on the dance floor by teaching me, basic bachata steps and just helping me like, get up to date with everything after the COVID. So, I just want to let them.
Okay. All right. So much for that. Oh, God help me. Hello, everyone. I am. Oh, you guys know who I am. I'm Russell Royce Laurie from Cool Folks Who Love to Bachata, and I am a mess mentally. I just wanted to say thank you to everyone that's been on my Bachata Facebook for at least 4 years now. And as if everyone knows, we are celebrating our 4th year anniversary in about 3 weeks in Maryland, okay, with the World Dance Festival. And a big shout out to Dola and all of our friends who are hosting this event. So I want to say, guys, thank you. I know it was like a short notice stuff. With anything with me is like short notice because I don't know how to plan myself. So thank you guys for supporting the anniversary and inviting everyone from Cool Folks Love to Bachata, giving them discounts and stuff. So guys, if you're in the Maryland area, Mother's Day is weekend, come by, to Baltimore to attend your event. This is for all cool folks who love the bachata. Okay, there's bachata, there's salsa, there's a whole bunch of dances for everyone across the world. That's when the world we come together has won. Okay, so for more information, let me know or let Dola knows. Okay, now for the important stuff here. Um, this is the second season of doing live with Cool Folks Love to Bachata from all over the world. Last year, I used to do it like almost once every day. This year, can't really do that. Like a lot of other stuff going on. So I try to do it at least like once a month, and I try to bring back some of our guests from last year, such as the famous David Archer. He's back for a second time to go live with me. He's a great guy. He's very, very, very kind-hearted, very professional, very nice. Very loyal. And he's a great guy, and I'm happy he's gonna be live with me in a couple seconds. He's in Texas, in my hometown of Austin, Texas. Yes, Joe David is there, and I'm here in crappy New Jersey, where it's crappy. But anyway, so David's going to come out in a couple of minutes, to talk about some stuff. So I just want to say, first of all, I am deeply sad, deeply sad. Okay, Facebook, what the hell? They banned me for 6 freaking days for not posting stuff. They said, Russell, you're in violation of me? Cool folks love to bachata? Who never took home a girl on a dance floor in bachata school? I'm in violation? You gotta be. So Facebook said they'll let me know what I'm in violation for. I'm like, what? What? I don't even have events. So they banned me for 4 days. But the good thing is that they said since it's my group, I can still like look at what you guys post. I can approve stuff, but I can't just post stuff or whatever. So I gotta wait till Sunday, and then after Sunday, you guys are gonna get 101 emails from me. Okay, so hang tight. Okay, but everyone else can post their stuff. Just don't post any bad stuff. I don't want any more trouble with Facebook. Okay, I'm on their bad list this week. Post your stuff and whatever, and so thank you guys from the bottom of my heart from all your postings, and lots of love to you. So I appreciate that. A second bad news. There are birds in my in my attic. Birds, and these are not like little tiny Tweety birds. These are big ass birds. I don't know how they got in my the roof of my house. So all day today, the landlord and we had to hire exterminator people to go in there and pull the nest out and stuff. Yeah. So and to make matters worse, I was telling just talking to my buddy David a second ago. I'm just like complaining because I just picked up a third remote law job, and I am a mess. I cannot shave. I cannot comb my hair. I look like crap. I make every jock on this planet look like ugh. Okay. So anyway, enough about me. I'm just happy you guys are joining me, and the summer season is about a couple weeks away. So I'm just happy to be here. David is here, and so let's just get this show started. Okay. I was trying to play my little Cool Folks Love the Bachata video for you, but as you can tell, it's it's some video from like, I don't know, a year ago or whatever. But anyway, I'm just happy to be here. David is happy to be here. David, come on out and help me out. Okay. How are you, David?
I'm good, man. How about yourself?
Uh, honestly, I'm hanging in there, bro. I'm hanging in there. I am hanging in there. I'm just
Good.
complaining. Oh, I forgot to complain also about taxes. I waited until the last minute to do my taxes, and I'm still not getting anything back. I don't know what. I'm a nice guy, I think, and the tax. I mean, I've got a new accountant this year. I fired my last one because I didn't get $1 back. I figured if I get a new one, I get $1 back. Now I have to. I don't. So I'm not getting any money back, but it's okay. It's okay. But David is here. David is back after a year.
Yeah.
Actually, I was just talking to him a couple seconds ago. He was like one of the first 3 people I interviewed when I kicked this thing off last year. So David was nice enough to, do it live with me and blah blah. So I asked him to come back, and he's in Texas. He's in Texas, one of the greatest places on this earth, Austin, Texas.
Agreed.
Okay,
Agreed.
so he's back.
100% agreed. I love it here.
Yeah, I missed Texas. I was just there for I think like over New Year's for a couple events, and I was only there for the weekend, and I'm like, I don't want to come back to Jersey, so I will come back to Austin, Texas, and this time I'm going to see you.
Hmm.
All right.
I'll be around.
Okay.
I'll be around.
Yeah, I'm going to come look for you on the dance floor. Okay. But before we begin, before you tell everyone about you again and we show your videos and stuff, you have something to share. You have something to share to all the hot chicks. Tell them what's going on with your. Go ahead. Don't be shy.
Um, I
A
mean,
lot of
nothing
girls
of note.
listening.
I've just, I've got a pinched nerve. Uh, not really know what this has to do with bachata, but just listen. It's an old man injury. Moral of the story is drink your water. Make sure you stretch. It can get crazy out there on the dance floor. That's all I'm saying.
Oh my God, bro, you take care of yourself. I admire that. About mind, body, and soul. I mean, um, so how do you manage to like? I mean, how do you manage to keep it together? Let's begin. Let's begin with that. Like, how do you manage to actually, you wake up in the morning, like all of us do. You start your day. How do you get through your day? Like what? Like for me, when I get up in the mornings, right? I have to like put the radio on or put the TV on or something, or just lay in bed for like 45 minutes and then finally wake,
45 minutes.
look, I'm older than you. I'm way older than anyone on this planet. Look at me, bro. Yeah, 45 minutes, going on to 47
Okay.
minutes. But how do you do it? Like you're if I can say this, you're in your 40s, so and you still manage to like up and rise and go. So what is your secret, bro? How do you manage to, look at each day positive and do what you have to? How do you stay focused? Tell us, please. How do you
I mean,
manage to stay
that's
focused?
Roswell. That's a loaded question, man. That is 100% a loaded question. I think. I mean, what angle do you want me to take? Like, we can talk about uh, just being on point with your health. We can talk about having a vision.
There you
We
go.
can talk about mindset and being resilient. Talk about having a passion project. Uh, like, there's so many different ways you could. But I guess for me, okay. So you asked for me. I mean, you know me since at least a little bit over a year ago. Excuse me.
Yeah, yeah.
And so, um, for me, my passion is helping guys live life better. And what I'm doing is always expanding. It's my business has taken on a much more invasive complexion than even since the last time you and I spoke, up to including, um, I mean, I'm just going to call it legacy wealth, creating generational wealth for guys. And it's, I mean, I'm still doing the nutrition, I'm still doing the training, I'm still doing largely the mindset strategies. But, um, anyways, I kind of share that because I am not the same person, and I am not operating the exact same business as I was 6 months ago or even a year ago when you and I last spoke. So I think maybe the undertone, a good way to say this, would be to just be excited about what's available to you, and always like a kid when you remember when you were a kid and you would go on a field trip for school. You're like, okay, we know we're going to this place, we know we're going to a zoo, or we know we're going to a carnival or something, but you're not super clear on what's going to be there. All you know is awesome stuff is ahead, let's go. Right? And you're going to run into some bumps, you're running some dings, like maybe your buddy gets in trouble, somebody pees their pants if they're little, hopefully, not older, but you get the idea. Like you're going in a direction, you know what you want, and you're like, okay, I'm focused. I always tell my guys, relentless in your pursuit, but flexible in your approach. And so that's same way I address my days. Is like, yeah, there's every single day, and I have a strategy to it. It's a very specific strategy, um, that I'm happy to share with any of your listeners or your viewers if they're interested. But essentially, it's I wake up every day and I do probably once every 2 to 3 days because the list gets pretty long, and so I don't really have a need to rewrite it. But every day I wake up and I write down this hour-long strategy that I have, and then a very specific type of list that leads me to my long-term and short-term projects, and then ultimately gives me indication of ultimately my best self, right? And sometimes, man, it's just like you ask me how I keep it together. As long as I'm moving forward, as long as I'm checking stuff off that box that I'm excited about. Now, that doesn't mean I'm only doing the things I'm excited about, but ultimately, I want to move into a phase of my day where I get to do the shit that I know is moving me forward, not just getting a haircut, going to the DMV, uh, doing taxes, shit like that, which actually have a pretty, pretty significant tax strategy, which is also pretty awesome. But in any case, it's that idea of waking up every day. And I'll be honest with you, I don't do this successfully every day, but I do it successfully the majority of days. And that is, holy shit, I forgot it's field trip day. Like there's some awesome stuff going on, and I let myself get excited about the things that naturally light me up, the things that naturally I gravitate to. And I mean, it's like, have you heard of? I'm going to do a little bit of teaching here, if that's okay. You're familiar with the law of attraction?
The law of from a psychological perspective, yeah.
From
Law of
psychological, from a
attraction.
frequency, from a biophysical, law of attraction is
Yeah,
just like, most
yeah,
people know it at this point. It's like things attract,
yeah, yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah,
On a
yeah.
more specific level, are you familiar with the law of resonant energy, which basically says two like frequencies, and you can see this in music, right? You can see this in cellular activity as well. But like frequencies will tend to attract each other, right? And that's one of the ways you get what's called binary beat, which is all the rage for like sleeping properly, waking up certain areas of the brain, focus, like green noise, brown noise, that sort of thing. So,
Okay.
in
White
any case,
noise, all that stuff. White noise and
yeah.
all of
So
that
it's
stuff.
so it's that sort of thing. So when you get excited about what you want, it's like in a roundabout way, it's already yours. You just got to get it out of your own way and let it come to you, right? But there's more to it. That I made that sound really like it's a straight line, um, and now I'm
No, let's
rambling.
talk about no, 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 no. You got me going here. No, no, from a legal perspective. Now you got me going. I'm sorry. Now I'm waking up here. Um, law of attraction. Law of attraction. Um, well, two things I was going to say. First of all, everyone heard of like Maslow, right? Maslow hierarchy of needs, right? We all
Oh yeah, yeah.
studied
Maslow's hierarchy of needs.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Maslow hierarchy of needs. That guy has been one. I know this is so nerdy, but he's one of my I can't believe I'm saying this live, especially on the dance Facebook. But he has been one of my inspirators in life since I
Sure.
was a kid. Since I had my first psychology course in college at Rutgers, many many years ago, before you were born, I had a course on oh God, what's that? So many psych courses. That's the reason I'm so crazy. Industrial psychology, right?
Okay.
And I studied some guy that built a pyramid, and according to this pyramid, all of us, we start at this bottom foundation, David, right? Right? It's like a pyramid. Zip, right? We have to get our necessities met first, right? Water, food, stuff like that. When we get
Shelter.
that,
Yep.
we go to the next level, right? It could be a job. It could be we finish school, blah, blah, blah. When that's finished, we go, maybe we want to, date. We want to get married. We want to have kids, whatever. Then we go up. We're building this pyramid to the top. Man, maybe we want to become the CEO of a dance company or some type of fitness or whatever. But this is the thing that fascinates me all my life. All of a sudden, crap happens, right? Something happens. We're building that pyramid. Something happens. It could be COVID. It could be cancer. It could be divorce. It can be fat. It can be whatever. Age. And then we got to go all the way down, 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 and start to crap all again as human beings, all of us. Okay. With that mindset, I kept that in my head, to think about why am I going to school, why I'm doing my master's, why I'm doing legal stuff, why I'm doing dancing, why I'm traveling the world. Because this guy, even today, I'm complaining to my mom, and I keep thinking that all of us, we can never, ever, if we think about it, I know I'm going off the topic here. If we think about it, we never, not one human being on this, well, maybe a couple of us, we never get to the top of what we always want in life. We just somehow, you know, get around other stuff. So my point to you is that the reason I was asking you that question, David, what motivates you? What motivates me is that after 46 minutes to get up, I say to myself, I remember this guy from psychology school. I'm like, it's okay for me to lay there for 46 minutes. That's normal because no matter what I do, I will never, get up when I'm supposed to get up. So it's normal. So what motivates me every day is not really money or food or, attraction or whatever. It's just this mindset that it's okay. It's okay to do what I'm doing because it's normal, you know? So I know that's a little weird response and a little weird answer, but I just wanted to let everyone knows who's listening here that no matter where we are or what we do in life and stuff, definitely no one of us is perfect. And the reason we're not perfect is because of that. And it's something that we all have to live with forever. Okay. Now getting back to the law of attraction here. Okay. The dance world. Since it's a dance interview, whatever. The law of attraction. We're on a dance floor, okay, and my ability is that I can go to a dance event, bachata, salsa, whatever, line dancing, whatever, and I will pick up the hottest chick ever. Take her home, get married, have 500 kids, and let it be. But it never happens. It never happens. So, David, I must be doing something wrong. I mean, not me. Maybe it's other guys. I don't know. You're an expert on men.
I don't think you're. I don't think you're doing anything wrong. I think you're doing what you know.
Really.
I don't think you're doing anything wrong. I think you're doing what you know. Now, take a second and consider that. If Roswell wakes up every day, or most days, and does what he already knows, what we currently know is we can call it a file, a construct based on your thoughts, behaviors, and emotions of the past, right? So if you're
Yes.
waking up every day and you're doing what you already know, assuming a similar mindset, maybe same routines, you go to the dance floor and you're able to, which more power to you, able to dance with the most beautiful woman there, but it never goes anything beyond that. Would you say that you're living in the present or you're living in the past?
The past, bro.
I mean, it would make logical sense to at least entertain the possibility that based on an entire battery of proof, right? You could call it custody of experiences, right? From point A to point B, so that, and you're the one that's custody of those actions, right? Then you would say,
Mhm.
yeah, I guess I'm kind of living in the past, right? So something to consider is that this law of, I mean, there's a law of entropy. You're familiar with it, right? Meaning things that are left alone typically meander towards disorder, right?
Okay.
And we all have experienced that at some point, maybe at frequent points in our life, depending on what you've allowed yourself to be or what you define as normal,
Okay.
right? So
Okay.
we're kind of staying open to this. We haven't really done anything yet. We're just entertaining this concept of, okay,
Mhm.
well, if I do the same thing kind of over and over again, and I'm getting the same or similar result, but the result is undesirable,
Mhm.
then that can cause sometimes a bit of regret. Excuse me, a bit of angst, a bit of um, guilt, or whatever the case is, and all those emotions are rooted in past structures. Now let's consider the field trip analogy. You
Okay.
wake up as a kid, and I use the field trip analogy because like pretty much everybody who's gone to public school in the U.S. or private school in the U.S. like everybody's been on a field trip, right? So you wake up and you're just kind of doing your thing as a kid, and you're like, it hits you. Maybe you're in the middle of brushing your teeth, or you're just 4 scoops into your cereal in the morning, and your eyes light up, and you're like, holy shit! It's not just a regular school day. There's
Mhm.
adventure at hand. And all of a sudden, your body feels light. You're physically like you're ready to move. You're up and down. Your mom's like, sit down. You're going to spill the cereal all over the place. You're like, I can't help it. Where's my backpack? Like, everything is so exciting. And you just like everything in front of you that only moments ago was so plain, was so normal, was
Mhm.
so blah, has automatically been filled with electricity, and everything in your world has come to life, right? And so
Mhm.
when we wake up in the morning, now it's difficult, right? Because it's a little bit difficult because when we're sleeping, we're in a particular state, and as we're coming out of that state, we're in a very low serotonin kind of state, which is like one of
Yeah.
the feel good hormones.
Yeah.
So it's actually biophysically, physiologically easier to wake up grumpy and irritable, right, than it is to wake up happy. But here's the kicker: is if you are used to doing what you already know, and you start to do something different, if you do that once, it's like I did this thing this one time, right? But then let's say when you wake up in the morning, what you're thinking about in bed, like if you're thinking about just Maslow's hierarchy of needs and how very very few people on this planet will ever achieve what I would consider enlightenment or something beyond the foundational needs, and actually operating on legacy, operating on purpose, then if you adhere to that mental model, then psychologically you will find the things, people, places, and events in your life that support that psychology, and that's what you will live. That's what will be normal to you. However, if
Oh.
you wake up every day and you're like, it's a fucking field trip, yeah, I'm doing a lot of the same shit, but man, there's something exciting out there that I don't know if I'm gonna see it. I don't know who this person I'm gonna meet is, but I'm ready to roll. And you were just like, just from an awareness standpoint, there's a center of your brain called the reticular activation system. You're probably familiar with it. It's like
Mhm.
you buy a red Volkswagen. All of a sudden, you start seeing red Volkswagens everywhere. When previously you're like, I thought this was kind of like a unique thing, but now because you're aware of it, you see it everywhere. So
Mhm.
this center of the brain, what's interesting is that this center of the brain doesn't know the difference. And kids, if you're taking notes here, this is where you start writing stuff down if you're not already. This center of your brain doesn't know the difference between the reality that you're perceiving and whatever you tell it. Right? I'm going to say that again. This center of the brain doesn't know the difference between the reality that you're perceiving, we'll call it external stimulus,
Mhm.
or what you tell it. So if you wake up in the morning and you tell yourself some awesome shit's going to happen today, not that automatically awesome shit is going to happen unless you're very automatically like vibrating on that higher frequency, right? But
Mhm.
what's going to happen is you're going to start to be more aware that awesome things are a possibility. Then you'll start to see certain things as awesome, you'll start to see what's behind those, the chain reaction of a person or place or an event that met you or that you got to, and you'll start to see your world differently. And we call that essentially a change in identity, because if you do it once, it's just like a one-off. If you do it a few times, it's like a trend, right? You do it frequently enough with enough intention, it becomes part of your character. But if you do a thing automatically and it's now part of who you are, we call that your identity, right? And so when we talk about like frequencies seeking each other, it's like that movie, The Secret, the book was awesome, but they only got it half right. It still requires work. Like you can put things out there, and that's
Right.
the mental model, right? But you've got
Right.
to do the work frequently. I call it massive action, and it's not like making massive jumps, but it's
Right.
doing small things frequently, to where essentially your subconscious, if I'm going to give it boring terms, your subconscious ultimately is okay with allowing the new patterns that you have established to become the truth inside of your world.
I'm thinking about the Matrix. You remember that? For some odd reason, I keep thinking about the Matrix that you talked.
I
Remember
mean,
the Matrix from back in the
is
day?
it is it that
What's
far
his
from the
name?
truth?
Keanu Reeves. You remember
Yeah,
the
hell
Matrix,
yeah, I
that big
remember
movie
that.
that came? As you talk, I keep thinking and thinking about the Matrix, because I'm thinking about the stuff that your mind, and those
Uh-huh.
stuff that goes in your mind, and it can become real. Even first, it can
Anything,
make it real.
Roswell,
You know.
we live in a world, and when I say we live in a world, a lot of that has to do with our neurochemistry and the way we
Mhm.
perceive what's happening.
Mhm.
But we live in a world where anything you give meaning to, if you do it frequently enough, with enough intention, will become real. Now, it's sometimes it's a thing that is only real for you. Like you've probably experienced this with a simple example would be like text messaging. Maybe someone texts you and you're like, that was kind of a dick thing to say. Like, well, I didn't even do anything. Why? And then you ask a friend and they're like, dude, look what this person texted you. And your friend is like, what? What's wrong with that? Like, what do you mean? What's wrong with that? Look what he said. Look at the text stream. They read some of the message and they're like, yeah, he was just saying go do this thing. Like, I don't understand, right? And so that's an example of differing perception, differing perspectives.
Let me remind you, David. You just texted me recently. Said, "Where's the web link, Roswell?"
Well, I
Yes,
like
David. I sent it to you on Sunday. That Can
yeah,
we use that? Is that a good example?
that's a perfect example. No, that's
No,
a
I'm just
perfect example. Yeah, because I like to use text as an example because unless you're very judicious, very deliberate and intentional about your grammar and how you're texting, it's really difficult to show intention. Like there's no, like if I'm texting this to you right now, you're not seeing my head move, you're not seeing my hand motion. Like there's zero nonverbals, right? It's just text. So that's why I like to use that as an example. Um,
That's a good example. Yeah, yeah. I'm happy. Yeah.
but yeah, man. So I know we talked. You asked me one question, and here we are. 25
No,
minutes
no,
later,
no,
talking about mindset.
no, no, no. I'll be honest with you, bro. This is the reason. This is the reason I do this, because um, it's one thing to see a photo of someone or a flyer of someone's event or social media. People read your profile and stuff,
Sure.
right? But when you talk, when you go live, when you like the stuff that you just said, half of these stuff you just can't just you know you can put on social media, but there's only so much in social media you can put. But then again, when
Sure.
you talk and stuff, it's like people get to know you, like the other half of you. Besides what you do when you're not working, or whatever. So one of the
Mm-hmm.
main reasons I have this for you and everyone, right, in the dance world and even outside of the dance world, is so you guys have an opportunity to better tell the world about your experiences, and these experiences can maybe help, like you said, the little one. The experiences can help those who really need it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? This stuff we're talking about mind, and we're talking about psychology, we're talking about all of this stuff. It's worth going live with you, leaving work early on a Wednesday night to talk with you in Texas. It's worth it. We're not talking about, oh, Roswa, I have this big event coming on tomorrow, 10% off. Just make sure you bring your girl in. You know, those are like old interviews. I don't do interviews like that. I do interviews like this, and you're just a good
Yeah.
example of what I mean. We're going beyond, the entertainment world and the dance world. We're talking about real things that affect everyone, not only dancers, but everyone, right?
I
You know?
would agree. So yeah, I would agree. And man, on that point, I'm more than happy to share, man. I like to talk about this stuff, but I also dig that you're doing this, and this is very much a passion project for you. You know what I mean? So it's like you don't have to be in, like, you've got guys. I don't know if you heard in the beginning. Roswell's got 3 jobs, man. The guy is hustling like hard. The guy's hustling hard, and he's still carving
Well,
out time to provide some value for you guys. So
on that said, Dave, I could come to Austin right now, give you a big hug. Let me just say something real quick. One of the main reasons I'm working 3 jobs. Okay, I'll tell everyone this. I can't believe. Well, everyone knows Facebook banned me for 6 days for like whatever. Anyway, what else? What do I have to lose? So anyway, I have a Honda. Oh, David, I purchased a brand new Honda car, Honda Civics, when I
yep,
lived in Austin, Texas. Before, um, I may have seen you when I lived there. It was a year before COVID, right? A
sure.
brand new car. So I just want everyone to know, if
I feel
anyone is
like,
planning, go
sorry,
ahead. I'm sorry.
quick interjection.
Go first. Go first. I'm sorry.
My intention of sharing that wasn't to highlight just
Uh-huh.
like that you're hustling, because a lot of us have multiple jobs, but that you were not doing it selflessly, right? Like you're out there obviously hustling, and you're
Right.
doing these extra interviews. You're like,
Right.
I still don't understand why Facebook banned you, which is super weird. Unless they thought what was being posted was a bot. I don't know. Um,
No, no, no. But this is fun. The thing about the car, though, but the thing with the car is that I got my first car. Okay, my first car ever in my life, of my own. Right,
mhm.
at almost 40 something years old, finally I got my own car. I didn't ask anyone for help. Right, I never had a car before. Does
Wait,
everyone
how old
know?
are
I
you
used
now?
to. I I'm old
You,
enough to be your grandfather. Let's say I am in. Let's just say I'm old enough to be your grandfather. Okay, let's just leave it at that. Anyway,
I thought we were
okay.
fairly close, Nate. I'll be 45
No,
this year.
no,
I
you're
thought
just a
we were fairly
baby.
close.
No, you're just a baby. Let's leave it at that.
Okay, fair
Anyway,
enough. Sorry.
so, bro. Okay, I'll whisper my age to my real age, but I'm over the hill. Okay, but okay. So so when I was in Austin, Texas, okay, the year before COVID, I purchased my first car, saved up enough money. I didn't have a cosigner, a brand new car, blah blah. To make a long story short, and I decided to bring it back to New Jersey, right? And check this out. I love that car like it was my baby or whatever. And okay, 2019, 20, 21, 20, okay. Guess what happened? I came back from Atlanta, okay? And I spent too much money last year traveling the world, hanging out and whatever. And I missed my payment, David. I missed my I'm financing I was financing my car to Honda. I missed 3 payments, okay? Back in the days, if you miss payments, whatever, their car dealership was okay with it. They didn't call me, they didn't text me during my dinner time, and this was when I was interviewing with. I did a live interview with the guy from Chris from Cool Folks Love the Bachata. Yes, so the same time I did my interview with him, Mr. Honda comes in my driveway, opened the door. I didn't hear the alarm because they have like master keys. He decided to hop his ass in my car and go zim zam zoom, repossess the car. He repossessed my car because I missed 3 payments. I was backed up in my financials. Things were bad. The economy, blah 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 blah. So I said, that's okay. They'll be okay. 3 payments, whatever. I did. I used to. So when I called the next day, I called the police station and they're like, "Where's my?" I'm like, guys, what? Did I park in the guy's driveway? Did I park in front of fire? They're like, no, sir. Your car got repossessed. Like, me? I said, I'm a nice guy. And they're like, we don't even know you. I'm like, trust me, I'm a nice guy. This is not supposed to happen to me. I'm not bad. I'm going to heaven. I know that. So why the hell did I repossess my car? You know? And he said, sir, calm down. So I called the Honda dealership. I said, you know what, guys, there's been a mistake. Can we just, how much? Let me just write you a check. The guy like, no, it doesn't work like that, Mr. Laurie. You can't have your car back. I'm like, look, I want that car back. I have to go to a dance event. I want that car. And my mom is bitching about. So I had to pay 14,000 in cash to get that car back in 8 days. Okay, if I didn't, they were going to sell it to the auction, right? So I bought the car for like 28,000, and I had like a couple of years left. To make a long story short, they said, Russ, well, sir, there's no buts about it. Either you give us the money, 14,000, or that's it. So I had to break my piggy bank, David. All my
Yeah.
savings since I was a little boy, tiny, tiny boy, like this small. All my savings, all my, I had to take it out, give it to the people, and now I got my car back. But the thing is that I'm paying back 14,000, all that money that I saved up. So there's a reason I'm working through three jobs, not because
Yeah,
I'm
I
trying
mean,
to be famous and
hey
smart.
man,
I'm trying to reimburse myself for being an ass for not paying my payment. Now does everyone see why
yeah. Hey, listen,
I'm working three jobs? I never worked three jobs anymore. I would never. I'm cool man. I love the bachata. I would never. I would not even work one job. But I got to pay my bills. you know so just for the record, there's a reason I'm working three times. The job that I'm doing is a cheesy, I mean, I should not say this live, the attorneys can listen to me, but it's another aggravation job, so let's just put it there, reviewing
yeah.
contracts, and I never
Hey
end.
man,
But anyway, yeah.
everybody goes through some stuff every once in a while, and you just you do what you gotta do to hustle temporarily, and then hopefully you come out on top.
Yeah, but they took my car. But the good thing, my mom said, now it's my car. I have to. And you know how it is in Texas. Texas is like when you own the car, you have the title now. So I really have the title.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like yeah. So. But anyway, let's get back to
good.
you. This is your interview. I mean, what? This is the same crap we did last year. I decided to have you live to interview, and it looked like I'm interviewing me again. So let me try to focus. Here we go. Let me focus on you and not my problems. So let's get back to this hero. Wait, is this a good time to show everyone about the beautiful video, the Hero Body Project? Is
Sure.
this a good
Yeah,
time?
it's just
Okay,
for
you
those who
want
haven't
to?
seen it yet. It's
Okay,
basically, so I made this video as part of. I have a free group on Facebook that I do some free coaching. There's a free journey, some downloadable assets, some master classes. Just really, just like not dissimilar in what you're doing, Roswell, with the interviews in your group. It's kind of like the same thing I'm doing with my group. So the
okay.
video that you guys are about to watch is essentially just the intro video that hopefully, if I did my job well, will inspire you to go down a bit of a rabbit hole and come out the other side feeling much more clear and much more confident about what you want.
Okay, okay. Then we'll talk about that scholarship, okay, that I would like you to tell everyone about.
Sure.
Okay, hold on for 1 second, please. Okay, let me just share this. Okay, let's see. Okay, so I'm going to share this beautiful video. Let's watch it.
Welcome to the Insights and Follies podcast. Today I'll be speaking with David Archer, lifestyle and fitness transformation specialist. I found David to be deeply passionate and knowledgeable in his areas of expertise.
Hey guys, it's David. Listen, if you're a guy watching this video, there's a decent chance you're living inside of a body that just isn't working for you anymore. If that sounds like a familiar story, then, brother, I want you to know I made this group for men just like you.
Soccer coach, Olympic development program, collegiate training, bodybuilding competitor, managing a nutrition shop, personal training. This next guest shares his quest on what he does to keep his mind and body in precision shape.
You're listening to the Mind Body Business Podcast with a guy who's known for his exceptional ability, practical goal setting, progress making machine.
And his drive to help others reach their maximum potential deserves showcasing. This is David Archer, and you're watching Driven.
Putting together a team for a couple of years. Several hundred people that I've helped out.
Wait, so 87% of the people that you've coached have placed in the top five?
Top five, yeah.
All right, JRD Nation, what's going on? We have an exciting announcement. This is our good buddy David from Austin, Texas.
My brother, I'm so excited you made it. And right now, with all that goes on in a man's life, relationship pressures, social distractions, and work demands that can leave you feeling just empty, with no time left to be you. Like life has you living at 50%. Despite all of this, you've chosen to trust that subtle voice inside that brought you here today, so welcome. You've just linked yourself to hundreds of men who walk this line with you. I know most are members of several other groups as well, and that's great, I get it. Maybe that's you too. I also know that most guys are still looking for a kind of home, a brotherhood. Not just a PDF with promises, but somewhere they can feel significantly more connected to the process and to those purposeful men who battle beside them. On the other side of this message waits for you a short journey, a path of proof known only as the 4 doors. Many have accepted this challenge, but not all have succeeded. It is in this place you'll uncover powerful truths and strategic assets designed to accelerate the results you produce in body and mind. In a moment, you'll have an opportunity to click the link posted with this video and begin a new path. A quest that will initiate redirection in your world potentially unlike anything you've ever experienced in a digital group. My brother, this is your time. It is by no mistake that you are here. So once again, welcome. Click the link to begin your quest, and I will meet you there now.
Wow. Oh, David, this is amazing, bro. Totally amazing. Um, oh goodness. Oh, okay. Sorry about that. I wanted to look at it again. I like, okay, I'm sorry. Just so everyone know, I haven't done an interview like in a month ago, so everyone just have patience with me. So sorry
We're
about
having
that.
fun, man. We're having fun.
We're having way too much fun here, bro. Okay. Uh, but I want to say that's it's an awesome video. First of all, did you put that together, or like I like did you do the scenery and the video effects and everything? I mean, how?
I did, man. I don't have
Mhm.
anybody. Well, I don't have anybody on retainer that can do any videography or anything for me. So I basically just like, I want to build this thing. I want guys to enter inside of the theater of the mind. And it's like, I mean, the logic was basically like, yeah, guys want to get fit, guys want to do nutrition, but like, after 30, 35, it becomes arbitrary. It becomes like, what is this thing linked to? None of it's fun anymore. And so I wanted to create a framework that could be fun. I'm like, what is more fun than being like the covert operative, being James Bond, being like that? Every guy I know, to some degree, resonates with some side of the James Bond, the Ethan Hunt, the Jason Bourne personality type, right?
Mhm.
So I was like, I'm just going to put something together that hopefully conveys that through video.
Mhm.
And that was it, man. It was basically just like kind of like a glorified introduction to who I am and where I've been. And then also like, hey, here's open up the door. And there's a handful of other videos that follow it. But like I said, that one's just the introduction.
You know what? When I was looking at that video, I mean, not only did I notice like the scenery, the music, the video effects, the photos, and I mean all that good stuff. Um, I also noticed something that that was very essential here. Um, when I was younger, right? Um, I used to like to join like groups. I mean, like like I had to be a part of a niche or a part of a clique or a little. I'd be part of like the cool guys or the nerdy guys or the hip hop
Sure.
guys. Just the name, just identity. Identity. That is something that was racing through my head as I looked at your video. But it's something I noticed the older I get, and especially me because I travel to a lot of events, and I notice sometimes that when I look at a younger group like 18 and 20s and 30s and stuff, you know, I look at myself and I'm like, where are my friends? And I said, you know, it's okay. It's okay to be in my 40s and whatever, and so go places alone and stuff, because I don't think I can do that young stuff again, like, get in a group of people. And I mean, some people in their 40s, they can still do that. They still want to be in that, like, let's hang out together, let's meet together, let's leave the clubs together. But for me, I said, I've already done that before. I've done that. I'm okay, going somewhere, going to a nightclub by myself, and going out by myself without a group or my friends or what. I have friends, but it's not like, like, back in high school or whatever. Let's just meet at a
It's
certain time.
different. Yeah, certainly it's
Let's
different.
eat at a table at a certain time. So when I was looking at your video, I keep thinking that brotherhood, that like men, we still want that comfort. We still want that bond. We still want that
I would
that
agree with that.
support. And I think it
Yeah.
happens when we get older. We begin to think about it more. And we think, okay, before I confuse people, we think about it when we're young, but we think about it more when we're older. Even though I just said that I'm okay being alone, it 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 does bother me sometimes that, hey, am I that old? Where's my
Well,
glitch? Where's my group? So
yeah,
I
it's
don't know.
different, isn't it? Like when we're younger, we're still sorting out. We're still just trying to figure out who we are. Like
Right,
most women in my life would argue, men don't mature until they're 35. They don't figure out what they're doing or where they're trying to go. But
right.
I mean, it's much more different when you're post-adolescent, when you're preteen, when you're teenager, because you're really
Mhm.
just trying to figure out. You're not taking from a battery of experience and saying, this is who I am, let me find a group that fits my mold. You're
Right.
just trying all these different things, trying to figure shit out, right? And then as we get older, we develop an identity. We go through the difficult shit. We know who we are. We know what we want. And I think guys that get to about our age, we're not thinking about the group for the purposes of finding belonging, because we already know what we want. We already know what we're after.
Mhm.
We're seeking a group of like-minded guys who are
Mhm.
willing to battle on the same principles and for the same or similar legacies, that we want to be part of something greater than ourselves. And it doesn't include just going and having a good time with our friends. I'll be honest with you, I don't have a lot of friends that I do anything where it's like just hanging out. Most of my friends are the guys either I'm making money with, we're building
Mhm.
something together, like we just want to do big shit. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? And it's less about the quality time spent, and it's more about what are the big things that we are setting in motion that will perpetuate when we're gone.
Mhm.
And I think that's, to your point with that, earlier when you referenced Maslow's hierarchy, pyramid of needs, that when you get beyond the fundamental food, water, shelter, then the secondary of like companionship, love, and you
Mhm.
start to, once all those things are secured, you start to think more on a less, um, by definition, less self-centered, or less, can I just survive so I can think about the big picture type of things. um, and I think
Mhm.
that's what most of us, tend to operate on. There's a few stragglers who are like, like you said, they still potentially overvalue the social aspect of friendship.
Right.
Not that it shouldn't be there, like it definitely should be there, but from what I understand and in my personal experiences, um, you begin to value and really see the finesse, but also the temporary. What's the word I'm looking for? Um, it just the time is not infinite, right? Not for us anyway. Not in the way that we want it to be. So
Mhm.
so it's like, well, what are we doing with our time? What are we creating? What impact are we creating? And I think you're doing that here in your way with your group. I'm certainly doing it with mine and my group.
Mhm.
All my friends are doing it with their things, and it's just like we don't even have to be doing the same thing. And maybe that's the main difference from adolescence to middle adulthood, is
Mhm.
all I gotta know is, like, if I resonate with a guy and we don't bump up each other's core values or create friction, and have arguments and stuff. Like, you're doing your thing, and like I'm just like, dude, that guy's awesome. He's doing his shit. He's part of my circle. And like, oh, what's he doing? I can tell you a little bit about it. I'm not super clear on it. I'm just really more focused on my thing. You know what I mean? But we both can operate on and here's that concept again, that law of resonant frequency. You just attract. You know, that's why they say, and I guess really in any domain of life, but in the business world, it's really popular to say, well, your network is your net worth, right? So if you start to operate, and here, if you're let me do a teaching moment and tie it all back together. We talked about you wake up in the morning, you think a certain way, which every time you think a thing, it creates a feeling. A feeling is just a repetition of a hormone cascade that your cells remember. You think, you feel. Feeling is energy. Energy requires action. I don't care who you are, you'll never be able to argue this away. Feeling requires action. That action you take, it becomes a battery of results, right? Now you start to think differently. You start to entertain the idea of elevating your network. You start to entertain the idea of making 6 figures a month. You start to entertain the idea of being an amazing fluid salsa dancer. You just start to entertain this idea. What did we talk about earlier? That reticular activating system. You're going to start to see opportunities, people, and places that were there before, but you couldn't set your eyes on because you were too busy thinking about other shit. Right? Now you're going to take action because that's what you're, and all of a sudden your life is so much different 4, 5, 6 months, which is a very short amount of time, than it was the previous 6 months. And you're like, man, how did this happen? Well, it's because you chose to think differently. And it really is. I mean, there's a feeling component too, and there's some strategies in there, but that's the gist of it, right?
Think differently. Okay, so what I've been doing, like on a dance floor, giving my business cards out to girls while I'm after the dance is not productive. Wait. That's a different time. Anyway, forget I said. Anyway,
wait, no, we're not gonna let that one go.
Yeah, let's not go there.
Wait. So anyway. if you're
I'm old, bro.
If you're dancing with a woman and you find her attractive and you want a romantic relationship, are you actually giving business cards, or is it where you just pull my leg?
Well, I mean, Jimmy Boo is gonna kick my butt. And Jimmy Boo told me I can't be doing that. Well, okay, hear me out. Okay, not that I'm desperate for a girl, but then okay, check this out. Maybe you can help me with this one, right? Okay, I struggle with this. I manage Cool Folks Love to Bachata, right? But there are boundaries, right? I can't, if I do find a hot chick that I really like, I just can't be like, whatever, because, I manage this Cool Folks Love to Bachata Facebook and she's on it. And what if things go sour? So to make a long story short, I figured if I do it indirectly, right? Okay, give a business card after we dance. And instead of saying, hey, I think I want to marry you, I just say, this is my Cool Folks Love to Bachata stuff. Just join my group if you want. Check out the events and blah, blah, blah. Right? I mean, I'm not being weird or anything. I'm being fair. Okay, so you can check it out. Because what if the romance doesn't work out? At least she's a member of Cool Folks Love to Bachata, so I win, no matter what happens. So I know this is pathetic.
Okay. Well, let's see. No. I'm following you here. But I'm not a dating guy at all. I just know what works for me when I want to genuinely connect with a woman.
Yeah.
Is I will very directly set the premise, meaning I'm a man, she's a woman. This is the type of interaction I'm seeking. Not like being direct and being some sort of brute about it, but just making it clear that it's not business. It's not just a random, sure, you're walking the door, I'll just hold it open for you sort of thing. But I feel like, I don't know, I feel like setting a premise, if you're genuinely interested in someone, and it's not just, an attractive face and an attractive body, but if the energy is there, I would encourage you
to give her 2 business cards.
To keep 5 business cards. No, to keep the business cards in your pocket, and don't feel like leaning on your group is an advantage for you. That's what I would say.
Right.
That's what I would say, because it's from what I'm getting, and again, I'm only interpreting this based on the little bit that you just told me, is is it seems like maybe, again, when we talk about the old narratives, the old stories, the way you think causes a feeling. And so if you're showing up and you're like, that woman's attractive, and automatically, again, I'm filling in some blanks here, right? But if automatically you see an attractive woman and you're not excited about the possibility of something happen, and the first thing that enters your head is there's nothing there, then your business card, which could be an advantage to you in a certain way, turns into a crutch. And it, more than that, it turns into a wall between, like, literally, like, imagine that business card turning into a massive wall, and you're holding that wall in between you and that person.
No wonder no woman has ever called me on this stuff.
so and again, it's maybe I'm way off here. Tell me to kick rocks, but from what you're telling me, I would, just in the interest, because it seems like it's not a result that's desirable for you, I would leave the business card out of it, man. And if later on at some point you're like, okay, this clearly isn't going anywhere, and like the excitement's gone, and it's just like, the chemistry is not there, then like, yeah, I've got this group, would love to have you in, right? Then there's no loss, right? Anyways, thanks for coming to my TED Talk.
No.
That's just what I would suggest.
No, the best solution is to get a refund. Go back to Staples and get a refund on those business cards. I spent a lot of money for that crap.
If there are any ladies watching this interview 56 and a half minutes in, let me know if I'm way off here. Let me know if making it intentional that the premise is man to woman. If I'm way off, and you're like, no, if Roswell gave me his card, I'd be all about it. Let us know in the comments.
I got a problem now. I know when I go dancing tomorrow, I don't even think anyone's going to dance with me anymore. They're going to be like, this guy's up to something. Well, no, this has a lot to do with Eduardo.
Why?
Eduardo, if you're listening. No, my friend Eduardo told me that maybe I should use my Cool Folks Love the Bachata group as a way to find a chick. I said, Eduardo, I can't make business with pleasure. He's like, Russell, you got to take a chance. So I said, okay, fine. I'll just go to Staples and spend $1,200 in lots of money in business cards. But anyway, and it's not working out for 8 months. It's not working out at all.
It's energy, man. It's energetic. I promise you, it's energy. It's only if you were to practice, and there, some people do like some people write things down. I like to imagine, so that way, like if I see a woman that's really attractive to me, one of the things I'll do very naturally, because I'm a creator at heart, is I'll imagine what it feels like, that moment, like when you first kiss a woman, or you can tell there's some attraction, or she says yes to a date, or you dance with her, for whatever it is that elicits that feeling inside. That's what I like to do to make it real for me, right? Now I'm not saying like I'm projecting that, and if it doesn't happen, I'm getting upset or whatever. Like more often than not, if there's not a certain potency of energy, I won't do anything. It's just how I've always operated. I have a certain window that I like to operate in.
Okay.
But when we're talking about energies, if you are tied, number one, if you're tied to the result of what could happen when you talk to that woman, like you're shooting yourself in the foot already, because just talking to a new person is excitement in and of itself. It's the field trip. You don't know what's going to happen. Just get on the fucking bus. Just have a good time. Maybe you don't get to sit next to your buddy. Maybe you do. Maybe you squish your peanut butter and jelly sandwich and like, oh shit. But then when you eat it, it's the best taste ever. You know what I mean? Like, you don't know what's going to happen, but it's just like that. I feel like that's the mode. That's the mantra, right? Just get on the bus, right?
Well,
Don't
you
worry
should have
about.
your own talk show. You should have your own talk show. I'm telling you. Like, what? You should be managing. No, I got a better idea. You should be managing my Cool Folks Love the Bachata Facebook. Now I'm thinking about it. Maybe if you manage it, you would not get banned for 6 days.
Well, I don't know, man. Facebook's going
Oh,
on.
now I know why they banned me. I just thought about it. The women I was dancing with, the stuff I was doing on Saturday night in Virginia. Now I know why they banned me. Okay. I hope the video is still on my Facebook. You got to look at the video. My hands were going like all the way we should not be going. Anyway,
That could
and
be
I got
part of it.
banned. Okay, let's get back to you. Okay, the scholarship. I know you mentioned to me there's an opportunity here, and I'd love to hear about opportunities and scholarship that can help the world. Please tell everyone about the scholarship opportunity and why is it of importance to consider.
Yeah,
Go
so
ahead.
I think, and here's, I'll give some logic behind why I'm doing this. I'm calling it a scholarship opportunity. And long story short, it's just like an excessive discount for the first couple weeks of my program.
Mhm.
So it's, I don't know, maybe I'm just not tapping into my market as effectively as I could be, but I know that getting guys fit and teaching mindset for the purposes of them acquiring these tools that they can use to stay fit and live better literally for the rest of their lives, it's such a big promise that a lot of guys don't believe it is really the bottom line. And so it seems a bit fantastical for me to tell a guy, and this is very real. Anybody else watching this, call me out on it. We'll have a conversation. But I can literally take a guy, and in 6 months, his emotional, physical, mental, financial, and vision creation caliber of his life will be so dramatically different that he will almost not even recognize, and more often than not recognize the man he is today, right? And what does that say? Essentially, it's making a promise of a brand new world, which absolutely shatters most guys' world perception, right? The way they view themselves and ultimately the world that they live in. So, what I've done is basically done a scholarship offer for an extremely low price, which is something like 800% off of what it normally would cost for the initial 2 weeks. Now it's only 14 days inside of the group, but including the onboarding, it pushes like 2.5 weeks, where they are getting everything. They're getting the curriculum, they're getting the group calls, they're getting the one-on-ones with me. They're establishing a rhythm. They're going to learn some of the tools, and so ultimately, what that does is it's what you get out of it is what you put into it, right? But what I've seen with those guys who simply show up is dramatic and rapid change, not just in what they're doing with their lifestyle, but with their mindset and their entertaining possibility. And every guy I know, you've experienced this as well, is that when we know that happiness is directly linked to progress, and happiness as it is in terms of a result is much lower, like almost non-existent on the list of priorities. When we were moving forward, when we were attached to something especially a little bit new, but also in line with what we know we want, not the bullshit that we tolerate, not the things we're like, oh, it's okay, this is fine, but the things we actually want, the shit that lights us on fire, it is an absolute game changer. Like it changes. So that was my intention with opening up this scholarship offer, is to essentially give guys an opportunity to say yes to themselves, to do a thing, to have an extremely low barrier to entry, but get everything in turn. And then at the end of that 2.5 weeks, they can decide after, experiencing what it's like inside the crucible, decide, and if I've done my job well, the decision will be very obvious. Are they going to continue to chase the life that they want? And let me be very clear, that could be inside of my group, or another avenue that they sort out, or another professional coach in my network that I can refer them out to. In either case, the goal is to get these guys in position where they are willing to look at their life, examine where they're at, admit in all honesty what it is they really want, which is incredibly difficult for a lot of guys, and more than anything, explore who they must become in order for that to become a reality. So that's the scholarship offer. If you guys are looking for numbers, it's literally $100 for 2 weeks of coaching, which is the normal cost for that initial 2 weeks is closer to $850. So there's your difference maker right there.
Better than 14,000. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, no, I have some services that are significantly even more than that, but the one that I'm talking about is essentially just the hybrid one-on-one and group coaching platform.
what you're doing is a great thing. And I know I think we talked about this a year ago. The reason I do, does everyone know the reason I do this? Cool folks who love the bachata stuff, not only to go live and complain about my my weird life, but when my dad, as everyone knows my dad has Alzheimer's, right? So and I'm doing research on it, on Alzheimer's and studies and stuff. Um, when I was sick with COVID, David, right? We all were. I mean, most people were, you
I
know.
caught it. Yeah.
But 6 months, whatever. Just a lot of stuff went in my head, mentally, psychologically, spiritually, blah 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 blah. And I said to myself, if I ever recover from this weird sickness stuff, I want to do something just unconditional.
Mm.
Before that, I was like materialistic. I was like, no, every dollar, if I get a paycheck and a penny is missing, I would call the HR and say, look, you missed a penny. Everything was materialistic about me. Blah blah. I would show you would never see me go live looking like Eddie the Munster. So or Herman the Munster, whatever. So and I said, God, if I ever recover from this COVID crap, I'm going to do something weird, nice weird. And I'm going to target the dance world because I feel sorry for them because they can't work, they're sick, they can't touch people to dance. So,
Oh, like during COVID.
yeah. So
Yeah,
I
I
said
see. Okay.
I'm gonna create, if I get up from this COVID stuff, I'm gonna create a Facebook, and I hated Facebook. Let me just say this one thing before I continue. Couple years ago in college, I written an evil paper on social media, how bad it is. It makes people do bad stuff, takes kids away from their family, breaks up relationship. I've written a paper and I gave it to my professor. I got an A. Now I am
Nice.
talking the opposite. I'm like, wow, look how social media can help. Okay, so I said, Lord, I'm Catholic. I say, God, if I ever get up from this COVID stuff, I'm going to create a Facebook that's going to help the dance world unconditionally, and that's what I did. Right. Um, I created this Facebook just so I can help the dance world, get back in their feet, you know, get the young ones up and running, get the old ones back up and
Keep
going,
the love alive. Yeah.
get the love alive, all that good stuff. Yeah. So that was my reason for doing it, right? I may have asked you this last year, David. You could have done so much other stuff out there, right? You could have had you could have like a line dancing company or two steps, organization. You could have, you could have been like the vice president of, Seaside Heights Amusement Park in Toms River in New Jersey. You know, you could have been the CEO of fundraisers at Rutgers, or you could have been like, you know, um, a restaurant owner on Rainy Street in Austin. There's so much you could have done in your days, but you decide to do this body stuff, right? So there must be something. Here I go with psychology again. What triggered David to do this? Is it something personal? Did something tragic happen to you? Is it because like something like me? You
Well,
made a
sure.
promise to the Lord. You're like, if I recover, I'm going to do.
Yeah.
What was going on in your head, David, when you decided to do this? Something went on
Well,
in your head.
I think anytime somebody operates a passion project and they're doing a thing, feeling compelled by purpose, there's always personal stuff involved with it, right?
Right.
And I won't bore you with the gory details, but there was, it's always, I guess it's a multitude, um, uh, a manifold of things, if you will, where we grow up and we have certain traumas, we have certain triggers, we have certain coping mechanisms, but then also as we're trying to understand those are a real thing and work through those, heal through those as adults, we also go through difficulties. And so there was a couple of times in my life where um, things got really, really nasty, really ugly, and
Okay.
both those times I found that I lost hope, even just temporarily, which is for me, I think probably the scariest thing that could happen. And so my come to Jesus moment was like, I'm going to build this thing. What do I know? What am I good at? Well, it's nutrition, it's body. I also discovered I have a knack for understanding human behavior. And so like
Okay.
I'm just gonna take these things, I'm gonna put them together. I'm also a creator. It's a gift that God has given me to just create things, both with word, with visual. Although that video I put up was probably like the first one I've ever done like that, so it's a little bit
Mhm.
student work, but just the same, it's in my wheelhouse, right? And so I said I'm gonna create something so a world that is so attractive to guys who were on the brink of losing hope that they feel
Mhm.
compelled to entertain that as a possibility, right? And when they step in there, like I'm the guy with them, boots on the ground, doing the damn thing with the creative, with the intellectual, with the emotional, with the vision creation, right? And so that was, to answer your question, yeah, 100%, 1,000%. It's something. This time it's personal for me, and the
Okay.
personal move is,
Mhm.
reinstill hope in guys who feel like they've lost or losing theirs.
But it's good, like, and I have to be careful when I talk because I'm live, but, I always say when it's from the heart, something personal, when it's not, it's not conditional. It's not like you like, oh, I'm going to be the next, like, VIP stockbroker on Wall Street if I do this, and I'm going to be the most famous guy in Forbes magazine. Your purpose, your intentions was not that. Your intentions was really, like you said, that, it was personable. It came from the
Sure.
heart. It wasn't like, I'm going to get back at people or get back at, look famous. You did it. And when people from your path, similar to your path, do stuff like that, they're more they're more passionate about what they do with at their state. It's not like, what, I think I'm going to go start a candy company or a staffing agency. So, no, but when something like that develops from a reason like similar to your reason, you know, it becomes like it becomes part of your skin. It's not like a job. It's not,
Yeah.
it's not like the video that, I mean, maybe to me and some other people, we see the video, we're like, oh wow, wow, that's not a video. It's just a great video. But to you, it's like it's your life. You know what
But
I'm
you
saying?
nailed it. But you nailed it. Like it's the skin, right? And this goes into why I named this thing the Hero Body Project. It's like every
Okay.
superhero has a trauma, has a dark side to their past, right?
Right.
Batman, great example. He saw his parents get shot in an alleyway. There were bats. He interpreted that somehow, some way. I'm not a comic book buff.
Right.
So those of you who are, give us some details there. But ultimately, like the way he took on this archetype of the protector, and surprise, surprise, his skin is a bat,
Right.
right? Right, and so that's
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I didn't think about that until now, but yeah, yeah.
yeah,
His
yeah, and
skin is a
that's
bat. Yeah.
so there's definitely some layers to it that I tried to uh, pile on logically, but
No,
yeah,
no,
that's
no.
the
You're right on target, man. Yeah, that's. I grew up with DC also. Yeah. Yeah. Sorry. Finish what you said. I didn't mean to interrupt you. Go ahead.
no. I was
Finish.
kind of trailing off. I was just gonna say that's essentially it. Is trying, the Hero Body Project is so much more, and very clearly goes so much deeper than just having a good physique, right? Which ultimately is a good key indicator. It's a great key indicator, in my opinion, of vitality, of longevity, what we can do in this world as men. So yeah, so that's it.
Man has men and boys. I'm still a boy at heart.
And we always should have a little bit of innocence, a little bit of innocence. Otherwise, the
Now,
field trip wouldn't be so exciting.
yes, exactly, exactly. Now because we're talking hopefully to a large audience of dancers and promoters and musicians and DJs, I got to ask you this question, man.
Sure.
Um, how can it's a broad question. How can your project or your intentions for men, like how could this help if a male dancer is looking at this right now, hopefully they are, and stuff. um how do you think this can help him? I mean, not when I mean help, I mean that's a broad question. I mean not only just identity and just like, relationships and all this stuff, but But from a dance perspective, because I was just telling my mom this like a couple of weeks ago, a male dancer, check this out, okay? A real male professional dancer, which I'm not. If they do a congress, David, as you know, right? A congress, right? They got to get up at 6 a.m., teach a class, right? And then they have to go, to these luncheons and these, media stuff, and they're out all afternoon. Then at night they have to rehearse, right, for their big days, for their big show that evening. Then it's 10 p.m., 11 p.m. They should be in bed, but they can't. They they're out there. They're performing,
They
and
have
they
to
have
be
to
out with
stay
the
till
people.
7 a.m.
Yeah.
Yeah, they have to stay till 7 a.m. to, with the audience. So that's a professional male dancer. So, how do you think your I can't say product, but how do you think your work? Yeah, if I can say that, how do you think your work can benefit a professional male dancer in that type of atmosphere? Like how do
I
you
mean,
think that?
imagine if you're a male dancer and you've been through that. Now, I've never been to a congress before, so you just described a bunch of things to me that
Yeah, that's a
I
congress.
didn't
Yeah,
know about.
typical congress.
Uh,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
but imagine if you're a professional dancer, either wanting to get to that stage, you haven't been there yet, or you've done a couple and you realize how grueling the day or those couple of days can become. Imagine going through that, feeling energized the entire time, not having slumps, staying focused, like not missing a step, but being so present and so confident in who you are that of all the thousands of interactions you have, every single one of them seem so unique and you're so thankful to have them. Like, that's the difference, right? Because a lot of times, like what you just described to me, I'm like, shit, that sounds like a lot of work. But
Yeah.
also, running in Congress is not my passion project, right? Like, I can have calls like you and I are having all day long. I can make projects. I can do, like, I've had 14, 15-hour days where I'm just on the whole time. And if I didn't have the nutrition strategy, if I didn't have the mindset, because decision fatigue is also a very real thing, physical fatigue is also a very real thing. My dad always says, fatigue makes cowards of us all, right? And so, even just, let's talk about just the physical domain. Even just the physical fatigue is enough to create lacks in judgment, in conversation, in if I'm assuming that when someone's leading a congress, like, people are there to see that guy, to dance with that guy, right? And what if you show up and you've got somebody who's crazy excited, and you want to be excited, like, but it's like hour 12, hour 13, you're dragging ass, you haven't eaten in 6 hours, you're low on water, sweating your balls off, I'm sure, and the person that's been waiting for months, for years, just to dance with you gets this interaction that's like, fuck, did he even give a shit? Like, I know he danced with a lot of people, but like, that wasn't at all what I hoped it would be, right? Like, I imagine that's not what you want. And that's kind of like when I have these long days where I'm very busy. I just did a talk for some retired military veterans the other day on the topic of perspective and possibility, and it was supposed to be a 15-20 minute talk, and 2.5 hours later, I'm still talking, answering questions, and I was getting hungry. I was a little bit tired. Now, again, I was probably only 7 or 8 hours into my day at that point. It wasn't very long, but even for me, there are moments where you start to feel that lax, and if you are practiced in continuing to put others ahead of you, that what's the word, that bottomless reservoir of energy and care will come out, and you'll continue to be able to give and serve in the ways that you want. So that's what I would describe if I was writing a paper on it, of how just what can be done for a guy in that position.
I still think you could manage your congress. I think you can do it, bro. I'm thinking about it. I think you can do your own congress for a day. I think you can do that.
Man,
you see,
you know
we're
what?
talking about focus here, and you're like Mr. Focus here. I think you can do that.
If it's something that I was on my heart, I would probably make it happen.
One thing I learned something in life, and I always tell people this: you never know what you can do until you do it. The mind is like beyond powerful. You heard this story, like, a lady. When was this? Years ago. A car lands. A car lands on her baby. While she was out fixing a tire, and she's a little short lady, and then the car's on her baby, and then she finds the energy.
Rips the door off.
Yeah, yeah. You remember that story and stuff. So I always
That
keep
was a
thinking.
real story. She got in a wreck.
Yeah.
Car was on fire. Maybe it's a different one that we're talking about, but yeah, the little lady is 140 pounds, 5 foot nothing, rips the car door off, save her child.
See,
Crazy,
you never
crazy
know what
stuff, man.
your mind. So I'll be looking at you next year for your Congress in Texas, Austin, Texas. There you go,
I'm gonna
Austin,
start dancing.
Texas.
Hey, so full disclosure, well, I've been traveling all over the place. I'm just up and down the East Coast. Finally back in Texas. I finally went to my first dance class in like 3.5 years.
Oh,
at Inspired Movement Austin. So Fabian runs that spot, and he's the one I used to learn from back in the day. So if anybody's in Austin inside this group, big shout out to Inspired Movement.
Oh yeah, he's great. Yeah, yeah. I used to take his classes, and yeah. I mean that. Yeah, just Austin, Texas, man. They're known to dance very well. They teach very well and stuff. I respect that. And not only bachata, it could be like, it could be salsa, it could be line dancing, it can be two steps. I mean, that's the thing about Texas in general. They take education very seriously. And if you're gonna learn anything in Texas, how to drive a car, how to dance, how to read a book, and whatever, you'll get your money's worth, if I can say
Let's
that.
say hello to the ladies. Just kidding.
Okay. And think about that. But
Oh man.
I'm trying to think what else I should ask you before I let you go. But yeah, is there I'm sorry, man. Is there anything you would like to say, like any last minute? Well, actually, no. Wait a second. Wait a minute. You're in Austin, Texas, right? It's not your bedtime yet. So I'm in.
I mean, we're pushing it. We're right around 9:30. My focus face starts to wean.
What advice can you give to young ones, like not really that want to start out in the dance business, but let's say someone who wants to be the next David #2, and they want to, do what you do and stuff. It's a lot of work. What I mean, what advice can you give him or her? Like, what if it's a her? Hey, let me challenge a question here, right? What if it's it's an opposite? It's a gender. Okay, what if it's not men?
I would say,
what if it's a woman that wants to do what you do and stuff? That's a good question.
There are currently women in the same field. Like, I mean, we're all doing things a little bit differently, right? But I would say, man, the biggest thing on the radar that I did not do, primarily because I just didn't. I kind of knew it was a thing, but I wasn't super sure. Is get a mentor, get a couple of mentors. Get connected with people who are already doing what you want to do successfully. Maybe not necessarily in the way you want to do it, but because everybody's a little bit different, right? Somebody can. I mean, there's 1,000 people probably within a 4 miles radius of where I'm at who are running a same type of business as I am, but everybody's got their own flair. Everybody has their own style to it. But I would say, get hooked up with a mentor. Get with somebody who's willing to teach you what works, what doesn't, and more importantly, someone who will challenge you to explore your inside first, because that's really where a lot of the power and a lot of the awesome stuff comes from.
Okay, that's fair enough. So where do you see yourself 5 years from now? Like, what's your next adventure, or like where, I interview 5 years from now. I hope you don't be telling me the same thing you did. I'm writing all the answers down. So 5 years from now, when I interview,
hard to say. I know. I know my
I
plans
keep track
are.
of everything.
You what?
I keep track of everything. So be careful what you say. 5 years from now.
Video proof.
No. But seriously, go ahead. Take it away.
No, 5 years. I think I imagine I'll still be coaching. I imagine I don't foresee my core curriculum turning into something completely different. I think the the passion project still is creating a space for men to rediscover hope. But I will say, as I continue to go to different type of men's events and increase my network and bring people on that in my professional network that I can refer to and build my own team, that it'll become much more immersive than it is currently. That I can promise you.
That's fair enough. That's fair enough. Um, Texas. So okay. So right before you go, I just got to ask you because
Sure.
I'm not in Texas, but like, how's everything in Austin, Texas? I mean, like, how is is it like pretty hot there? Is it pretty cold? I know that's
It's been. I mean, keep in mind,
weird.
I was up where in your neck of the woods for the last 3 years, like
Yeah,
central
you
New
were.
Jersey, central Maine, up in there. So,
Yeah.
um,
Yeah.
so it's definitely. I mean, it's not as warm as I remember it being this time of year, but it's hanging out like 80, 85, stuff like that. Today was super overcast and just super muggy, but no, it's manageable. It's not bad. I mean, it's Austin. There's water.
It's like 60 something degrees here, and you're in an 80-degree. Bro, I gotta come. Man, I miss that. I gotta come back to Austin right now, man. That's one of the reasons I decided to come there. Not only because of a job opportunity, but because of in April it's 80 and stuff. And here in New Jersey, so like 50 and 60,
It's not
that's
too
good.
bad. I remember, like, I feel like the 50s and 60s in New Jersey are still. It's as long as the sun's out, it's manageable.
Not been raining like crazy. Is it a lot of rain you guys
Yeah.
get there also? Like in Texas,
This
it's
is
been
this
raining
is
like nonstop.
this is inclement weather season, but
Yeah.
no, we haven't seen a ton of it. Not a ton yet. So we'll see.
Okay. Okay, I got to come to Texas to check it out and,
Yeah.
say hello to everyone. And when I come to Texas, I'll definitely come say hello to you. Hopefully,
Yeah, we'll
um,
grab a coffee or something, man.
maybe this summer. Yeah, I normally come like twice a year, like Christmas time and then sometime in the summer. So yeah, so definitely
Okay.
look for you. I want to say, it was a pleasure, a deep pleasure speaking with you again. I mean, the first time around, it was like I didn't really know you, you didn't really know me, so I was like, I remember I was giving you that look. It's kind of funny. I mean, I should not say this on air, but I was playing back the video, and my sister was watching it, and she's like, "He looks like he's afraid of you, Ross. It looks like he like, if you don't answer the question, you might eat him or something because you had to look at his face." I'm like, "No, it's an interview and stuff." Yeah, she like, it looked like you scaring the boy with what you're telling
Oh,
him.
like I was scared?
No,
Or
no,
I was
last year.
intimidated?
So this year, it's like you know me a little bit more. I know you a little bit more. The
Sure.
interview is a little bit more relaxed,
Good.
so I want to say it's a blessing to bring you back, and I
Yeah, I had a
apologize
blast, man. Enjoyed it.
for not looking clean, but it whatever, but I am clean, just so, especially for the chicks. I just want all the chicks to know I am clean. Okay, this is just fakeness.
He's just
Okay,
busy. Just a
just
busy guy,
fakeness.
that's all.
Yeah, just a bad hair day. Okay. But anyway, it was a pleasure speaking with you. Again, if you need anything, whatever, use the Bachata Facebook, I mean, network, promote your stuff or whatever. And it was, thank you for going live with me again. I appreciate it. All right. Thanks a lot, bro. I really, really appreciate it. Okay.
Awesome. Anytime, man. My pleasure.
Have a good night. Peace.
All right. Cheers.
Okay. Cheers.